Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tiali, I'm a Frost DK. Yes, I play a female warg and I'm a male, but so are half of you guys watching this video, so I don't feel too bad. This is going to be kind of a basic guide. I'm going to tell you guys what kind of runes, masteries I use, and I'm going to go over, I guess, all my skills down here, and I can do that real quick. The main point of doing this video is actually to go over my hotbar and stuff like that, because when I go through other YouTube videos on how to play Frost DK or other specs in general, most of it's swapped by like their macro names and stuff like that, and that really bothers me. I just like being able to compare my screen with others and see, you know, maybe I have a more efficient setup than others or whatever. You know, I have all my main skills on 1 through 6. You got Howling Blast, you've got, what is this one? This is the Plague Strike, to help get your diseases up. You got your Frost Strike, and you got your Obliterate. Those are kind of your main the skills you're going to be pressing over and over again until you're absolutely freaking sick of them and you just wish you were a different spec. But then again, at the same time, this is what makes Frost DKs really, really fun, in my opinion. Also, I've got kind of like my resource generators on F1 through F4. So F1 is going to consume the diseases. I gotta get stacks of Necro up on the target again, because that's kind of what build I've been using. So then I'm going to steal it, and I've got some runes regenerated, particularly as death runes, which is a fun way to do that. F2, you've got blood tap, so every time I'm going to use Frost Strike, I'm going to get, I think it's 3 charges? Let's see. So, 1 charge on that one, weird. And it's going to help you, you can refund those for different runes. And there's that. There's F3, which is your Empower Rune weapon, just gives you all your runes and gives you some runic power back. And then F4 is more like, okay, if you're going to take damage, let me see if the tanking, oh, that's the healing one. The tanking one's all the way on the other side of the freaking garrison. But basically, if you be taking damage, magic damage, it gives you runic power in exchange. It gives it to you back for the damage you take. And if you still have any shield left over when it's done with a particular rune, the cooldown of Anti-Magic Shell is it loses some, so you can have it back up and regenerate more runic power for more burst damage right away. Okay, up here, I'll go over my top setup here. On Blood Boil, I have it's bound to the A key. Gorfine's Grasp, or I guess in certain situations I would use Desecrated Ground, is set to S. Pillars is D. Icebound Fortitude is F. Heal G, and then I can drop down all my ghouls with H. So I just want you guys to know. Also, I move around with Q, W, E keys. I don't have a back. I don't back off at all. So that's kind of where my particular setup comes from. Also, I have Brain Freeze is macro on my mouse, or not a macro, just like it's mouse button. My Worgen passive Dark Flight is Z. Chains of Ice X, C, V, B, etc. And then up here, I got Death Strike to R. And then this is, what is this one? Shift 1, Shift 2, Shift 3, 4, 5, 6. And then kind of these is over here, just special. Yeah, I'm going to have to click them to use them. And oh my god, I forgot how big the ring makes me. Okay, went over that. I don't know why that really always bugged me with videos, so hopefully that makes things clear for you. If any of you guys watch it, want like a more in detail type description, I guess, on how exactly my keys are set up, I'll let you guys know. But now we're going to go into specializations and talents. Obviously, we're specialized as Frost DK, so that's kind of redundant. You're 56, I go Plague Leech just to consume diseases and put it back on the target. It's a little bit different on your playstyle how this works, because if you use Necrotic Plague, pay attention to the dummy up here. See 1 stack, 2 stacks, 4 stacks, okay, 5. They're all there, but see, it's on a countdown. The Necrotic Plague only lasts 30 seconds, and when I use Plague Leech, 1 second, it consumes all the stacks. So I have to start applying from the beginning, so you lose out on a decent amount of DPS. Versus, 1 second, let me get out of combat and I'll show you guys here if a different playstyle. Learn. Okay, so Death and Decay is now replaced by Defile with a talent. I'll get to that one in a second. But now watch the dummy. Okay, you got your Frost Fever, which is applied by Howling Blast, and you've got Blood Plague, which is applied by Plague Strike. Now, if I use Plague Leech, oh my god, If I use Plague Leech, oh my god, Plague Leech. There we go. It consumes both of the diseases, and it's really simple as using Plague Strike and Howling Blast, and you've got the diseases back on the target, and I can just keep pressing those skills to reapply the diseases. So it's actually, in terms, it is somewhat steadier DPS, not as high with Necrotic Plague, but at the same time, you really don't have to worry about the reset. And Defile is kind of like your Death and Decay. So watch, see how it's growing bigger on the edges right there? For 30 seconds, as long as there's an enemy on the Defile, it's going to take more damage, and Defile is going to spread. And honestly, I guess I've had issues with it. I don't know why. Like, I just don't kind of like the way it looks, the different playstyle. It's actually more efficient to do it that way, just because consuming diseases is a lot steadier output, and then Defile is a really short cooldown when you think about it. So you can be playing it all the time. You just want to make sure that when you're doing it in PvE and stuff like that, that the opponent, the boss or whatever you're fighting, is going to stay on the Defile, or you're going to lose on DPS. Again, I wouldn't recommend that too much for PvP, because you move around a lot. You're going to go with Necrotic Plague, because you're just going to be like throwing skills sometimes. Just, okay, can I hit them? Yeah, I can hit them. And so, yeah, Necrotic Plague will do some of the work for you. Okay. Unholy Blight's great for if you want to stack Necrotic Plague stacks, but it's 1.5 minute cooldown. I don't recommend it. Plague Bearer, I don't use in Frost DK at all. Purgatory for PvE, particularly raiding, because every 3 minutes, because that's cooldown, you're basically going to get a chance to not die. It absorbs the damage, and you have a chance to out-heal it, which gives your healers a good chance to get back on you. It's fantastic. Again, not really for PvP. I would use Lichborn, because it's another what is it, a CC deterrent, which is fantastic, and it gives you a little bit of leech. So then you apply that with Pillars of Frost, and then you go ham, and you'll get a decent amount of HP back. A lot of people will tell you that it's not a fantastic amount. I mean, no, it's not your Death Pack, which is going to increase 50% of your health. Not increase, but give you back. But it's still better than nothing. And quite frankly, in close combat, things with like Death Siphon gives you a little bit of range. You'll get a decent amount of health back, and it gives you a chance to kite and just kind of stay in the game. Basically, when it comes to PvP, also, like Frost DKs, I have an issue with their healing. I just don't feel like they have enough. A lot of people are going to argue with that and say that I don't know what I'm talking about, and maybe I don't, but it just feels that way for me, with just Death Siphon and, what is it, Death Strike. I just kind of feel like those are all we've got, and they're not spectacular heals. But then again, we are not a healing spec, so I digress. Our 58 was kind of our movement in CC. Asphyxiate is an improved Strangulate. It's just kind of a stun. What kind of skills? I know like the Paladins have a skill where they basically like stun somebody, and as long as they don't take damage, they can't do anything. Same thing. I don't particularly like that, especially for PvE, because there are 1,000 mobs that are immune to that type of stuff. Chillblains is what I do for PvP, because basically it applies a slow to the target. Kind of helps you stay on them, and your Chains of Ice will root them. Death's Advance, Frost DKs have been known not to have a lot of movement speed, which is kind of why I choose Worgen. You've got their Dark Flight passive, which lets you zoom around, and then you've got Death's Advance, which is also another thing that zooms around, and you know, I activate the ring, so I'm a fucking giant right now. It's awesome. So yeah, it's there, it's cool, and that's kind of what I recommend for 58. For 60, obviously we go with Blood Tap. If Blood Tap is just one more button for you to manage, it's too much, go Runic Corruption, and go Runic Corruption over Runic Empowerment. Runic Empowerment is actually a useless skill because it's a random rune that regenerates. So basically you can randomly get an Unholy Rune, and you can't use an Unholy Rune for Howling Blast, which is kind of the main skill you're going to spam. So you're going to want Death Runes, you're going to want your Frost Runes back to spam that out. Versus Runic Corruption, which just kind of increases your Runic power regeneration. So all of this, you're going to go 100% faster, all of them. Every single rune is going to regenerate faster instead of just one. And that's kind of why why we go that way. 75, you've got Conversion. It looks cool. In theory, the fact that it uses your runic power to heal you, you've got all this runic power, so it sounds cool. But you've got Breath of Sindragosa, which uses runic power, and it's an absolute nuke. And then you've got your main skill, Frost Strike, which does a shit ton of damage, especially with Killing Machine, which is going to get your critical procs, and it's going to do most of our damage for us. You're not going to want to use that for healing. You're going to want to use that for pure damage output. Death Siphon, the only issue with this one is it costs one death rune, but it gives you if I were to use it, let's see. Okay. if I use it, right, I can heal from all the way over here. Okay, it's got a decent amount of range on it. Let's see exactly how far back I can go. I just heal from all the way over here. So you can kite with that skill, which makes it fantastic. That's why I love using it for PvP and stuff like that. Versus Death Pack, it's a 2-minute cooldown, but it heals you for quite a bit. It gives you a little shield, a little buffer, healing absorption right there. But like I said, right now I'm not going to need that. For if you're going up against a huge boss who's going to do a shit ton of damage, and you got to look after yourself every once in a while, your Death Siphon's just not going to do it, and you just got to kind of have that burst, I need to look after myself type heal. Which a lot of other classes have, we don't, so makes sense. Our 90 talents, we got Gorfine's Grasp, Remorseless Winter, Desecrated Ground. Remorseless Winter was my main go-to skill when I first started DK. It's fun, but it also, keep in mind, it's an AoE around you, so people can move around it if they're smart and aware. It's good for clearing, I guess, like trash mobs and stuff like that. But then you've got skills like Gorfine's Grasp, which takes all of the trash around you and pulls them to one place in front of you. So if I were to use Gorfine's Grasp right now, and there were like a ton of, I don't know, I guess your typical RPG slimes around, they would all have just been thrown right here. Right around the freaking training dummy, and all my AoE skills would hit every single one of them because they're right there. So it really makes it easier instead of, you know, you've got them all frozen in an area around you, and now you have to go around and hit every single one because maybe like that 1 or 2 is out of range. Desecrated Ground is also a skill I use sometimes. I use it a lot for PvP, I'm not going to lie. I feel like we just don't have enough CC breakers. Corrupt the Ground for an 8-yard radius, beneath the Death Knight. Death Knight is immune to roots, snares, and effects that cause loss of control. And this ability instantly removes such effects when activated. Great skill. Also keep in mind, 2-minute cooldown, so it's a bit lengthy, but like when you're going into arenas and stuff like that, it comes off cooldown, so you've got a nice one-shot to use it. So you're good to go with that aspect. And then for 100, Necrotic Plague and Defiled, Breath of Cindergrosa. Breath of Cindergrosa, it just kind of uses all of your runic power. So you have a runic power generator trinket, stuff like that. It could be good, great burst for a 2-minute cooldown, but I don't use it. I feel like it's inefficient for most builds. Defile is obviously what I like to use because of Howling Blast and Plague Strike. Like I mentioned, the diseases are easier to keep up on the target. And Necrotic Plague is usually what I go for PvP because of like I said, blind skills out there that's just going to stack Necrotic Plague. So that's all of this, and then we're going to go into Glyphs. We've got Glyph of Empowerment. Your Empowerment Rune also heals you for 30% of your max health. I feel like this is an absolute must-have. The only thing I don't like about it is if you need runes and you don't need to heal, bam, then you just wasted your heal, and whatever, and vice versa. Glyph of Runic Power. Whenever you are struck by movement impairing effect, you will generate 2 runic power every 1 for 5 seconds. So I mean, it works. It's just kind of another passive. So you're gonna get root, snare, and you're gonna get your power to basically come back and rip their faces off for doing so later. Glyph Regenerative Magic. This is the one I was telling you guys about. If Anti-Magic Shell expires after its full duration, the cooldown is reduced by 50% based on the amount of damage absorption remaining. So basically, just kind of keeps this nice and cool, low cooldown. It's got 45 seconds already. So you're not hurting too much, but it's always nice to have it even shorter. Glyph of Tranquil Grip, with a W apparently, Grip. No longer taunts your target, which is great for not taking aggro off the boss in raids. I can't tell you how many times I haven't had this rune, and I've ended up dying because of it, because, you know, Death Knights are idiots. When your Death Grip ability fails because its target is immune, its cooldown is reset. Yeah, I mean, that kind of self-explanatory. You're always going to want to be able to... that skill is nice because it also applies the Chains of Ice, which roots them in place now because we have like a passive that we got like on our way to level 100 that does that. And then Glyph of Army of the Dead, no longer taunt their target. So that kind of goes after that. And then some of the important, I want to go over some of their important abilities real quick before I end this video. There's the book. Anti-Magic Shell. Not here because it's more of the passives I want to go over. Just let me find them. Killing Machine. There we go. Your auto attacks have a chance to make an extra Obliterate or Frost Strike automatically critically strike, which is why Frost DKs, as a rule of thumb, something I learned kind of while leveling up, is we don't stack the crit stat. Because we really don't need crits. It doesn't need to be our main stat because we get all of our crits and our power from Killing Machine, which is going to do all the work for us. Improved Death Grip, which is the one I was telling you, which applies Chains of Ice. And I'm pretty sure that's all I need to go over with you guys as far as passives. Let's go into stats real quick before I end the video. Our main stat is Mastery, which is going to do frost damage. Right now I have Multi-Strike because I've been speccing Unholy a lot more just for raids. I feel like they're kind of more efficient. It's just a pain in the ass class because Frost DKs are, I don't know, more fun, more in your face type, which I love. You're always going to want to have Rune of Fallen Crusader in your main hand because that's kind of you're going to give you your extra strength proc, and it's got a 30% chance to heal you. You know, it just kind of keeps you up in the fight. And Rune of Razor Ice always increases your damage. If we look at the, it's actually not showing it. I don't think it's, there it is, right here. Frost damage taken from the Death Knight's ability is increased by 10%, and as it goes up, it'll be up to, well, no, 10% is max. But that's kind of where that comes in. You're going to want to have both, never do them, never do both the same. Anyway, I'm sorry for muttering, I'm sorry for stuttering all that stuff. If you guys have been able to stand through this video, I appreciate it. If you guys have anything you guys wish to let me know as far as like the way I present this video, stuff like that. Anything you guys know about the Frost DK or anything you just want to know, if you want me to see actual PvP videos, PvE videos, let me know. I just really kind of want to get this out there. Hopefully you guys learn from it, and have a good one. Tiali out.